Ladies and gentlemen, today I want to share with you a powerful principle that has shaped countless lives. It's simple yet challenging: work hard in silence. In a world where noise seems to reign supreme, where the loudest voices seem to attract the most attention, it's easy to believe that success requires constant self-promotion, but real power lies in quiet, consistent action. See, true success doesn't demand a spotlight. Success is built in the quiet hours and moments where no one is watching. When you show up day after day, even when there's no applause, that's when you make real progress. Because that consistency, that relentless commitment is what creates mastery. Silence is your sanctuary. When you're not concerned about what others think or say, you create a space to focus entirely on your goals. That silence sharpens your focus, helping you resist distractions and keep moving forward even when the path gets challenging. By staying silent, you allow yourself to put all your energy toward your craft. Your work becomes a pure expression of who you are, not what others want you to be. Now, let's be honest, sometimes we crave validation. We want people to recognize our effort, to tell us we're doing well, but relying on that praise can make us lose sight of our real motivations. External praise might feel good, but it's fleeting. Real fulfillment comes from within. Work without needing anyone's permission or approval. Trust in your vision and let your results be your proof. Remember, the impact you create will eventually draw attention. When you work hard and stay consistent, your success becomes undeniable. And there's another benefit to quiet perseverance: it protects you from burnout. When we're constantly looking for approval or chasing recognition, we're never truly satisfied. But when you find satisfaction in the work itself and in the process, your energy lasts.
You stay motivated, committed, and resilient. Working hard in silence helps you conserve your energy and focus it where it matters.
This approach builds a deep inner strength. When you're motivated by your own goals and values rather than what others think, you build resilience. Setbacks and criticism don't shake you. You've built a foundation of confidence. This resilience will carry you through any obstacle. Finally, when you work quietly, you learn to love the journey. You see, success isn't just the destination, it's every step along the way. And when you're not worried about who's watching or who's noticing, you can enjoy each moment more fully. So work hard in silence. Let your success make the noise. Be consistent, be resilient. And let your results, not your words, tell your story. Because in the end, the journey you take to reach your goals is yours alone. Embrace it, love it, and let that journey speak for itself. Thank you. Consistency is the quiet force behind every great achievement. In a world where people are often looking for quick results, we can easily overlook the power of sticking to a path day after day without any visible progress. But consistency is about showing up when no one else does, persisting when enthusiasm fades, and doing the work even when it feels mundane or exhausting. It's about planting seeds, patiently nurturing them, and trusting that they will grow, even if you don't see the results right away. When you commit to consistency, you develop a discipline that becomes second nature. At first, the efforts may seem small or even insignificant. A single step may not take you far, but a step taken every day can carry you across mountains. Over time, those small actions compound, building momentum that's nearly unstoppable. Think of it like a stonecutter tapping at a rock. The first strike doesn't crack it, nor the second, nor the third. But eventually, the cumulative impact of those taps breaks the rock open. The breakthrough may appear sudden, but it's the result of consistent, quiet effort. Consistency is also a powerful tool for learning and self-improvement. When you commit to a skill or task over a long period, you gain insights that only time and experience can reveal. This dedicated practice not only improves your skills, but deepens your understanding. Mistakes and challenges become opportunities to grow as each experience shapes you and brings you closer to mastery. Through consistent effort, you build resilience. You learn to handle setbacks without giving up, knowing they're part of the journey rather than a signal to quit. The beauty of consistency lies in its simplicity. It doesn't require exceptional talent or a flash of inspiration. It requires showing up and putting in the work, no matter what. It means not letting emotions dictate your actions, because you understand that motivation can be fleeting, but discipline carries you through. You begin to rely on your own commitment rather than waiting for the perfect conditions, the perfect timing, or the perfect plan. It's about making the choice every day to keep going, trusting that each small effort brings you closer to where you want to be. Consistency becomes its own kind of strength. When you're consistent, people begin to notice your dedication, your dependability, and your steady progress. They start to trust you, to rely on you, and eventually to respect you. And in the process, you begin to trust yourself more deeply too. You see the results of your steady actions, and you gain confidence in your own ability to persevere and succeed. You realize that real growth, real transformation isn't about one big leap forward. It's about the 1,000 small steps you take along the way. Working with consistency also shifts your focus from the end goal to the process itself. You find joy in the journey, in each step forward, in each tiny victory, and even in the challenges that force you to grow. Instead of waiting for some far-off reward, you start to see the reward in every day that you show up and put in the work. In the end, consistency becomes not just a path to success, but a way of life, a quiet, powerful force that shapes you into the person you want to become, one step at a time. Silence is often misunderstood in our loud, fast-paced world. Many equate silence with emptiness or inactivity, but true silence is far from passive. It's a powerful space that fosters clarity and sharpens focus in ways noise simply cannot. In silence, we remove ourselves from the constant demands for our attention and allow the mind to narrow its energy onto a single purpose, undisturbed by distractions. This focused energy lets us connect with our goals on a deeper level, transforming ordinary efforts into something powerful and precise. When we choose to work in silence, we strip away the clutter of external expectations and opinions. We are not trying to prove ourselves to anyone, nor are we seeking validation. In this quiet space, we're free to explore ideas without interruption, to make mistakes without judgment, and to push boundaries without the pressure of an audience. This solitude gives us room to experiment and innovate. It frees us from the weight of comparison and lets us work in the truest, most honest way possible. Instead of looking outward for approval or applause, we look inward, finding purpose in our own progress and satisfaction in the simple act of doing the work. Working in silence also brings a mental stillness that enhances our ability to concentrate. Without the constant influx of notifications, opinions, or the urge to keep up with others, our minds become more attentive, better able to analyze complex problems, and more creative in finding solutions. In silence, our minds are like deep, undisturbed waters, calm and ready to reflect with clarity. This state of focus allows us to see connections and patterns that might be missed in a noisier environment. We become more in tune with our thoughts, more aware of what truly matters, and more capable of dismissing distractions that add little value to our journey. Silence requires us to be comfortable with ourselves. It asks us to face our own thoughts and to focus on what's happening internally rather than what's happening around us. This process of self-reflection reveals insights that can only emerge in stillness. We gain a stronger sense of who we are and why we're doing what we're doing. We start to understand our deeper motivations, and in understanding them, we build a resilience that keeps us steady through challenges. Silence becomes a place where we not only focus but also reconnect with the reasons behind our work, allowing our purpose to guide us forward. The practice of working in silence also helps us prioritize our energy. Every distraction we give into, every bit of noise we let into our minds, takes energy away from what truly matters. In silence, we regain control over where we place our energy and attention. We learn to focus only on what aligns with our goals and values, becoming more disciplined with our time. This prioritization makes our actions more meaningful. Each step we take is deliberate, each task is done with intention, and each decision is weighed against the larger vision we're working toward. By creating an environment of silence, we also develop patience. In a world that rewards instant results, choosing silence is choosing to work with patience and persistence, to trust that consistent effort will lead to the desired outcome. Silence reminds us that success doesn't come from seeking constant validation or feedback. Instead, it comes from quiet dedication, from taking one step at a time, undistracted, knowing that the path we're on is the right one. Finally, silence is the space where intuition grows. With distractions removed, we start to hear our inner voice more clearly. In this stillness, we can listen to our instincts and allow ourselves to follow what feels right, even if it isn't obvious or immediately rewarding. We build confidence in our own judgment and creativity, and we come to understand that often the best ideas emerge when we allow ourselves the peace to think deeply. In the end, working in silence isn't just about avoiding noise, it's about creating an atmosphere where our focus can thrive. Silence gives us a way to channel our full attention toward what truly matters, to move forward with clarity and purpose, and to become deeply connected with the work we do. It's in this silence that we find strength, direction, and the focus needed to achieve our most meaningful goals. Resisting the need for validation is a powerful choice, especially in a world where approval seems to be the currency of worth. From social media likes to the praise we receive in our daily lives, we are constantly encouraged to seek out external recognition. Yet, the need for validation, if left unchecked, can distract us from our true purpose and diminish our sense of self-worth. Resisting it is a way of taking ownership of our motivations and actions, building a sense of inner confidence that does not depend on others' opinions, but at its core, the desire for validation comes from a natural human need to belong and to feel valued. We all want to be seen and appreciated, but when we start to rely too heavily on others' feedback, we give away our power. Our sense of accomplishment becomes dependent on external recognition, and when that recognition isn't forthcoming, we can feel lost or demotivated. Resisting the need for validation means shifting away from this external dependence. It's about finding fulfillment in the work itself rather than in how others perceive it. It's about valuing our journey based on our own standards, not on whether it aligns with someone else's expectations. When we rely on validation, we may find ourselves compromising our authenticity. We might adapt our actions or adjust our goals to fit what we think will gain approval, rather than pursuing what we truly believe in. This need to please others can limit our creativity, our originality, and even our courage to take risks. When we resist this urge, however, we allow ourselves the freedom to act according to our own principles. We start making choices based on what resonates with us and not what we think will make others applaud. This freedom to be genuine leads to greater satisfaction because we know we are working towards something that truly matters to us, not just something that will earn us a pat on the back. Resisting the need for validation also gives us resilience. When we aren't constantly seeking approval, we become less vulnerable to criticism. Instead of seeing feedback as a measure of our worth, we can approach it objectively, using it to learn and grow rather than to validate ourselves. We no longer allow setbacks or negative opinions to shake our confidence because we understand that our value doesn't depend on the opinions of others. We grow stronger in our convictions, and this inner strength becomes a solid foundation that can withstand the ups and downs of any journey. Without the need for validation, we're better able to focus on our goals and invest fully in the process. Seeking approval divides our attention, pulling us in different directions as we try to manage others' perceptions. By letting go of this need, we free ourselves to devote all our energy to what we're trying to accomplish. We work more efficiently with a greater sense of purpose because we're not waiting for recognition to fuel us. Instead, we're driven by our own vision, by our own reasons for doing the work. This independence creates a powerful sense of motivation that is both sustainable and deeply fulfilling. Resisting the need for validation also opens the door to a more lasting internal sense of confidence. When we achieve something on our own terms, it gives us a pride that is not dependent on others' reactions. This self-assurance becomes a guiding force, empowering us to make bolder choices and to take risks we might otherwise avoid. We become our own source of encouragement, knowing that we have the capability to achieve our goals without the need for anyone else's approval. This inner confidence is unshakable because it's built on our own beliefs and experiences, not on fleeting praise. This mindset also allows us to be more open and empathetic toward others. When we're no longer focused on earning validation, we become less judgmental and more accepting because we no longer feel the need to compete for attention or approval. We can support others without feeling threatened by their successes, and we become genuinely happy for them because we're secure in our own path. By freeing ourselves from the need for validation, we cultivate a mindset that lifts everyone up, creating a positive environment for growth and connection. Lastly, when we resist the need for validation, we find more joy in the journey itself. The work we do becomes its own reward as we learn to appreciate the value of our efforts and the lessons we gain along the way. Without the distraction of external approval, we become fully present in our endeavors, open to the richness of the experience itself. This presence brings a profound sense of peace and satisfaction because we're not waiting for something outside of ourselves to make us feel accomplished. We're able to enjoy the process, celebrate our progress, and trust that we're on the right path simply because it feels right for us. Resisting the need for validation isn't always easy. It requires courage and a deep belief in oneself. But when we cultivate this mindset, we unlock a sense of freedom, confidence, and resilience that no amount of external praise can provide. We become the authors of our own story, driven by our own values and dreams, finding fulfillment in the journey rather than in anyone else's approval. And in doing so, we create a life that is not only successful, but deeply authentic and meaningful. Letting results speak for you is a timeless principle that holds profound power. In a world driven by self-promotion, where people often feel compelled to broadcast every step of their progress, this approach may seem counterintuitive. But the act of letting your results do the talking carries a quiet authority and confidence that words simply cannot match. Actions and the outcomes they produce offer a form of proof that is undeniable and enduring. When you allow your achievements to communicate your dedication, skill, and integrity, you establish credibility that goes far beyond what words can accomplish. Results provide a form of clarity that cuts through noise and speculation. Words can be persuasive, but they are often open to interpretation. Promises can be made, but they are often unfulfilled. Results, however, are concrete and objective. They reveal the truth of your efforts without exaggeration or embellishment. When you let results speak, there is no need to justify or explain yourself. Your work and achievements are self-evident. They show not only what you're capable of, but also the depth of your commitment, your resilience, and your consistency. This transparency builds a foundation of trust and respect that cannot be easily shaken. When you focus on producing results rather than on seeking attention, you free yourself from the pressure of constant validation. Instead of diverting your energy into self-promotion, you channel entirely into your energy, into your craft. This discipline keeps you grounded, focused, and aligned with your goals. Each achievement becomes a step forward that strengthens your foundation, making your journey more fulfilling and sustainable. Rather than working for applause, you work for progress, and this inner motivation fuels a level of excellence that stands out on its own. People will notice and respect your achievements more deeply when they see that you are dedicated to the work itself rather than to the recognition. Allowing results to speak for you also cultivates patience and resilience. True accomplishments, especially meaningful ones, are rarely the result of quick or easy work. They require time, effort, and often a great deal of perseverance through challenges and setbacks. By focusing on achieving tangible outcomes, you learn to value the process over instant gratification. You understand that true success comes from a series of small, consistent steps rather than a single grand effort. This patience becomes a strength, enabling you to persist where others might give up. In the end, the results you produce carry the weight of real, hard-earned experience, and that authenticity speaks louder than any attempt to rush the process. There's also a unique humility in letting results speak for themselves. Instead of drawing attention to your efforts, you quietly put in the work, confident that the outcomes will reflect your abilities. This humility makes an impression on others. People are naturally drawn to those who are confident without being boastful, who let their achievements speak louder than their words. This quiet confidence can open doors and build relationships that are based on respect, admiration, and a shared appreciation for genuine accomplishment. When others see that you prioritize results over recognition, they come to trust your character and your capabilities, knowing that you are driven by purpose rather than ego. This approach also keeps you adaptable and open to growth. When your focus is on delivering real results rather than on outward approval, you're more receptive to feedback, improvement, and change. You're less likely to take criticism personally, as your goal is to improve your outcomes rather than to protect a certain image. This willingness to learn and grow makes you more versatile, better able to navigate challenges, and ultimately more successful. People who are grounded in their results are always learning, evolving, and refining their approach. They're not attached to looking good in the moment. They're committed to delivering lasting value. Furthermore, letting results speak for you encourages integrity. When you're focused on outcomes rather than appearances, you're less likely to cut corners, compromise on quality, or take shortcuts that could undermine your work. You understand that real, meaningful achievements are built on a foundation of integrity and hard work. This commitment to doing things the right way, even when no one is watching or praising you, strengthens your reputation. Over time, people come to see you as someone they can rely on, someone whose word is backed by action, and someone who stands by their commitments. This integrity becomes one of your greatest assets, setting you apart in a world where authenticity can be rare. In the end, letting results speak for you brings a deep sense of fulfillment. There is a quiet satisfaction in knowing that your accomplishments reflect the best of your abilities and that they were achieved through consistent effort and dedication. Each result becomes a reminder of your growth, your resilience, and your unwavering commitment to excellence. This sense of self-assurance is profound because it comes from within. It's not dependent on anyone else's recognition or praise. You feel proud of your achievements because you know you've earned them in a way that honors your values and aspirations. So by letting results speak for you, you build a legacy of true accomplishment. You cultivate respect, integrity, and trust, all without the need for constant self-promotion. You develop a sense of purpose that's rooted in the work itself, leading to a more authentic and meaningful journey. And most importantly, you create a life that resonates with lasting success, one that speaks volumes without a single word. Avoiding burnout is an essential skill, especially in a culture that often glorifies constant productivity and relentless effort. Burnout isn't simply a result of hard work. It's a state of mental, emotional, and physical exhaustion that arises when we push ourselves beyond healthy limits without taking the time to recover and restore. It can affect anyone, no matter how passionate or dedicated they may be. Understanding the signs of burnout and learning how to avoid it are key to achieving long-term success and fulfillment, allowing us to work effectively without compromising our well-being. One of the most important ways to avoid burnout is to establish clear boundaries between work and personal time. In a world where work is often accessible at any hour, setting boundaries can feel difficult, yet it's essential for maintaining balance. Without these boundaries, we risk allowing work to seep into every corner of our lives, gradually eroding our energy and creativity. Boundaries mean not just limiting work hours, but also mentally detaching from work when we're not actively engaged in it. This mental separation gives our minds a chance to rest, to reconnect with other parts of life, and to recharge our energy. By treating personal time as sacred, we protect our mental health and ensure that work doesn't consume our entire identity. Managing expectations is another vital aspect of avoiding burnout. Unrealistic expectations, whether self-imposed or from external sources, can create intense pressure that wears us down over time. When we constantly push ourselves to exceed every standard, to be perfect, or to produce results as quickly as possible, we are setting ourselves up for burnout. Learning to set realistic, achievable goals allows us to progress at a sustainable pace, celebrating our achievements rather than focusing on what we haven't done. Recognizing that excellence takes time and that progress is gradual can help alleviate the sense of urgency that leads to burnout. It allows us to work with a sense of purpose rather than constantly chasing after an impossible standard. Self-care is a fundamental element in the battle against burnout, but it's often misunderstood as merely physical rest or pampering. While rest and relaxation are important, self-care also includes nurturing mental and emotional well-being. This can mean taking time to connect with loved ones, engage in hobbies, meditate, or do anything that brings genuine joy and relief from stress. Self-care should be proactive, not something we turn to only when we're already exhausted. By making it a regular part of our lives, we strengthen our resilience and create a buffer against the stresses that might otherwise lead to burnout. Self-care teaches us to honor our limits, reminding us that we are human and that we have the right to rest. Another powerful approach to avoiding burnout is to develop a mindset that prioritizes sustainability over intensity. Many people fall into the trap of thinking that the harder and faster they work, the more successful they will be. But long-term success is rarely achieved through constant, intense effort. Instead, it's built on consistent, steady progress. When we learn to pace ourselves, to work within our natural rhythms, and to take regular breaks, we create a workflow that's not only more productive, but also more enjoyable. This sustainable approach helps prevent the mental and physical depletion that comes from constant, high-intensity work. It reminds us that taking a break doesn't mean we're lazy or unproductive, it means we're recharging to come back stronger. Delegating and seeking support are also essential practices for avoiding burnout. Many people hesitate to ask for help, thinking that they should be able to handle everything on their own, but trying to do everything ourselves often leads to overwhelm and exhaustion. By sharing responsibilities, whether at work or in personal life, we lighten the load and create a more manageable workload. Delegating doesn't just reduce our stress, it also allows others to contribute and grow, creating a supportive environment where everyone benefits. Asking for support isn't a sign of weakness, it's a sign of self-awareness and maturity. Recognizing when we need help allows us to sustain our energy and focus on what truly matters. Mindfulness is another powerful tool for avoiding burnout. When we practice mindfulness, we become more attuned to our physical and emotional states, allowing us to recognize early signs of stress and fatigue. This awareness helps us address potential burnout before it becomes severe. Mindfulness also encourages us to stay present, reducing the anxiety that often comes from worrying about the future or dwelling on the past. By focusing on the present moment, we can engage more fully with our work, find enjoyment in it, and maintain a healthier relationship with our goals. Mindfulness teaches us to listen to our bodies and minds, respecting our need for balance and giving ourselves permission to pause and recharge. Learning to say no is another crucial strategy. Often burnout stems from overcommitting ourselves and feeling obligated to say yes to every opportunity, task, or request. While ambition and a willingness to help others are admirable, taking on too much can drain us of the energy and focus we need to succeed. Saying no isn't selfish, it's a way of protecting our time and well-being so that we can give our best to the things that truly matter. By setting boundaries on our commitments, we prevent the buildup of stress and create a schedule that aligns with our priorities. Saying no when necessary allows us to pursue our goals with clarity and strength rather than becoming overwhelmed and burnt out. Lastly, finding meaning in our work is essential for avoiding burnout. When we connect deeply with the purpose behind our efforts, we are more resilient in the face of challenges and less likely to become disillusioned or exhausted. Having a sense of purpose gives us a reason to keep going even when the work becomes difficult or monotonous. It reminds us of the impact we're making, helping us see our efforts as valuable and worthwhile. This sense of meaning acts as an anchor, giving us strength and motivation that goes beyond surface-level rewards. When we work with purpose, we're more likely to find joy and fulfillment, protecting ourselves from the emptiness that often accompanies burnout. Avoiding burnout is not a one-time effort, but an ongoing practice of self-awareness, balance, and respect for our limits. It's about valuing ourselves enough to create a life that's sustainable and fulfilling, one that allows us to pursue our ambitions without sacrificing our well-being. By setting boundaries, prioritizing self-care, pacing ourselves, seeking support, and finding purpose, we can create a path to success that honors both our goals and our health. In doing so, we ensure that we can keep moving forward with energy, passion, and resilience for the long run. Inner strength and resilience are among the most profound resources we possess, essential to navigating life's challenges and changes. While these qualities might not be visible or immediately recognized, they are the foundation of our ability to persevere, adapt, and ultimately thrive in the face of adversity. Inner strength isn't simply about enduring difficult times, it's the quiet, steadfast energy that enables us to face our fears, push past limitations, and stand firm in our values, even when circumstances test us. It's a deep-rooted confidence that no matter what comes our way, we have the capacity to move forward and come through stronger. Resilience, on the other hand, is the flexibility of the human spirit. It's the ability to bounce back after setbacks and to recover with a renewed sense of purpose. Resilience allows us to see obstacles not as immovable barriers, but as challenges that we have the power to overcome. People often mistake resilience for an innate trait, something we're either born with or without. However, resilience is a skill that can be cultivated and strengthened over time. It's a combination of mindset, attitude, and practices that enable us to withstand stress and come out on the other side with greater insight and wisdom. Inner strength begins with self-awareness. When we understand who we are, what we believe in, and what matters most to us, we build a solid foundation that anchors us during difficult times. This self-awareness helps us recognize our triggers, our fears, and our patterns of thought, empowering us to respond rather than react. Inner strength isn't about ignoring challenges or pretending to be unaffected by them. It's about acknowledging what we feel, facing it head-on, and choosing a constructive way forward. This process builds confidence because it shows us that we are capable of managing our emotions even when situations are uncomfortable or uncertain. Resilience is rooted in a growth mindset, the belief that we can learn, adapt, and grow from every experience. When we adopt this mindset, setbacks are no longer failures, they are opportunities to learn, refine our approach, and become better prepared for the future. This perspective helps us reframe challenges as valuable experiences, allowing us to face them with courage and curiosity rather than dread. In this way, resilience transforms obstacles into stepping stones that lead us closer to our goals. We learn to see difficulties as temporary, and we recognize that with time and effort, we can overcome them and emerge stronger. Another essential aspect of inner strength is the ability to remain focused on what we can control. Life is full of uncertainties, and many situations are beyond our influence. Dwelling on what we cannot change only drains our energy and leaves us feeling helpless. When we focus on what we can control, our thoughts, our actions, and our reactions, we empower ourselves to take meaningful steps toward progress, no matter how small. This sense of control provides a powerful grounding force during turbulent times, reminding us that even when everything else feels uncertain, we have the power to choose our response. In this choice lies a profound strength as it keeps us moving forward, even when the path is unclear. Inner strength and resilience also thrive on the ability to adapt. Life rarely unfolds according to our plans, and resilience is what enables us to pivot, adjust, and find a new way forward. Adaptability requires flexibility of mind, a willingness to let go of rigid expectations, and the courage to embrace change. When we're open to adapting, we allow ourselves to see new possibilities, even in situations that initially seem like setbacks. Adaptability helps us reframe our perspective, find creative solutions, and make the best of the resources available to us. This willingness to change course keeps us resilient in the face of unexpected challenges, transforming potential roadblocks into opportunities for growth and discovery. Another source of inner strength is a strong support system. While inner strength may sound like a purely personal quality, it's often fortified by the relationships we have with others. When we lean on friends, family, mentors, or colleagues, we gain new perspectives, encouragement, and a sense of shared experience. Connection with others reminds us that we are not alone, and it provides emotional support during tough times. While inner strength ultimately comes from within, our support systems act as pillars that help reinforce it. Resilience is often built in community. We learn from others' experiences, draw strength from their wisdom, and become inspired by their stories of overcoming. These connections nurture our inner resources, helping us become even stronger than we would be on our own. Self-compassion is a fundamental component of resilience and inner strength. When we treat ourselves with kindness and understanding, especially during difficult times, we build a relationship with ourselves based on trust and respect. Self-compassion means forgiving ourselves for mistakes, being patient with our progress, and recognizing that it's okay to struggle. Rather than being critical or demanding, we support ourselves in the same way we would a friend. This compassionate attitude keeps us resilient by allowing us to see setbacks as part of the journey, not as personal failures. It also enables us to recover more quickly from disappointment because we are not burdened by harsh self-judgment. When we treat ourselves with compassion, we become our own allies, strengthening our resolve and maintaining a positive outlook, even in challenging times. Lastly, inner strength and resilience are built on a sense of purpose. When we have a clear purpose or set of values that guide us, we're more resilient in the face of hardship. Purpose gives us a reason to persevere, to keep moving forward, even when circumstances are difficult. It provides a sense of meaning and direction, reminding us that our struggles are not in vain. When we are connected to a greater purpose, whether it's a personal goal, a cause, or a vision for our future, we find the motivation to push through obstacles. This purpose becomes a source of strength, giving us the courage to face adversity with a clear sense of why we're doing it. Resilience grows stronger when we know that our efforts are aligned with something meaningful, something that truly matters to us. Inner strength and resilience aren't about being unaffected by hardship. They're about learning to navigate it with wisdom, patience, and courage. They enable us to move through life with confidence, knowing that we can handle whatever comes our way. By cultivating self-awareness, focusing on what we can control, adapting to change, building a support system, practicing self-compassion, and staying connected to our purpose, we build a foundation of resilience that can carry us through even the most challenging circumstances. This inner strength becomes a source of peace, empowering us to face life's uncertainties with calm assurance and to emerge from every trial stronger than before. In the end, cultivating inner strength and resilience is not about avoiding hardship or suppressing our emotions. It's about equipping ourselves to face whatever life brings with courage, wisdom, and grace. When we embrace our challenges, focusing on growth rather than perfection, we develop an inner foundation that cannot easily be shaken. With self-awareness, adaptability, and a commitment to our values, we create the resilience needed to overcome adversity and thrive. We learn that setbacks are not endpoints, they're stepping stones, each one offering a new lesson and an opportunity to refine who we are and what we're capable of. By grounding ourselves in self-compassion, surrounding ourselves with supportive relationships, and staying connected to a deeper purpose, we find the strength to keep moving forward. This journey may not always be easy, but by facing it with inner strength, we emerge as our most authentic and empowered selves, ready to meet every new challenge and create a life filled with meaning, resilience, and growth.